be able to hear the good stuff later on. I don't do the good stuff. Can this go on? I think the other one's a bit louder, maybe. No. Yes? Hello? David's on my case. Hello? Hello? Oh, that's good. I'm called Dougal, and I'm David Mitchell's biggest fan, hence the t-shirt. I'm a Teach Meet evangelist. David and I have put on a couple of Teach Meets in the past. I remember David doing his very first ever Teach Meet presentation at a Teach Meet that I did in Doncaster 3 years ago. There was a nervous bloke sitting on his own quietly, shuffling his prompt cards. Well, I don't think he had prompt cards, but I'm drawing a picture anyway. But how far Teach Meet can take you. Who's never been to a Teach Meet before? This is amazing. You should get a picture. David, get a picture. Hands high in the air if you haven't been to a Teach Meet before. This won't be your last, because this is amazing. Let me tell you a little bit. Let me tell you a little bit about Teach Meet. I'll take a photo. I'm multitasking. I'd love to talk to you later about what made you decide to come. How did you know about it? Because this is really interesting stuff. How did you know about it, and will it make a difference? I think it does. This is about kind of extension of the staff room. You know, when you're sitting in the staff room and someone comes in and is excited because they've done something and it's worked and it's been useful, and young people have learned something, and there's an excitement that you have around that, and you want to share it. That's what Teach Meet is about. You're going to be treated to some people coming up and sharing some excitement about some stuff that's good. I need to put in a word for some people that have helped this happen tonight. If you haven't already, there is a drink for you to enjoy. Although, if you don't drink orange juice or alcohol, it's a little more challenging. But the lads have been contacted, have they? Yes, there might be some water on the way. But that's by virtue of the fact that this particular Teach Meet, and it's by no means true for all Teach Meets, but this particular Teach Meet, we've been helped by the generous donations of Rising Stars publishers, who've provided a drink for us, and they've also helped us to hold it here at the Nascent Live event. So thank you to Rising Stars, they're jolly nice. That's kind of the last shout out that will happen for a commercial organisation, or at least that's the idea. Teach Meet is very much a kind of a grassrootsy sharing of the classroom stuff rather than selling of products. We're very grateful to those people that that provide or help with sponsorship, and it's not really fair on them if someone then uses the Teach Meet platform to promote a product for no other reason than they just share, promoting a product or something. So I would thank you not to take advantage of this platform to do that. We've got loads of people signed up. The way Teach Meet works is that there's a fruit machine here behind me, and the fruit machine runs through all the names of the people who've generously said they will speak this evening. You speak for 7 or 2 minutes. If you start waffling on, we will very politely make some hints to you that it's not a waffling on platform. It's a kind of a succinct to the point thing that we're after this evening. Yes? No, I'll make sure you'll... Anyway, I don't want, I'm beginning to waffle on, so without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to someone who I've got a massive amount of admiration for, David, who's going to help out. David's not the only one helping out tonight, Charisse is helping out this evening as well. The other thing you need to know about Teach Meet is this little bit kind of lipstick on the back of a piece of paper in terms of the way it works. It's a bit shambolic and not very well organised, and that's part of the fun. So there'll be bits of plugging in and unplugging, and lots of opportunities for you to chit-chat with each other. I suggest you take those opportunities. The gaps in between are really rich opportunities for chit-chat. Ooh, I think I can see how I might use that in class next week. Or, ooh, that's a good idea. Share that bit of thinking with the person sitting near you. If you're not sitting near someone that you don't know, make sure that before you leave tonight you have spoken to someone that you don't know. I've already met someone I've never met before. A couple of people I've never met before. That's all good. Right, David wanted to say something before we go on to our first presentation. David.
Thank you. I just wanted to share a very, very short story that came to me this week. Because we're here, we're teachers, you know, we've got that calling, haven't we? We want to make a difference. And we're here because of social media. Whether you found out on social media or not, the reason this is happening is because of social media. And I just want to share a short story that happened to me on Facebook this week. As a stranger contacted me that I'd never met before and said, David, is your dad called John Mitchell, who was a teacher at Hilton Grange School? And I was thinking, don't like the sound of this. I said, yes, he was. I checked her out. I've just seen that she'd befriended my dad. I said, see, you're friends with him on here too. She says, well, I was the young girl that you came to visit in hospital at the age of 11. I'm that girl. And I've just put this in context. My dad worked at Hilton Grange School, which is a national children's home. And there aren't many of those left now. But this was a place where children on the adoption system were waiting to be adopted. Children that had been through the educational system and had come out the other end that needed somewhere. This was a residential place. And I did remember her. I said, really? I said, crikey, I do remember you. I said, how long ago was that? I must have been about 6. He said, yes. And I've still got the Winnie the Pooh book that you and your family gave me 33 years later. And I now read it to my great-nephews as well as my 2 own kids. I said, wow, that's pretty cool. I hope you made a good recovery. She said, she went on to say, I've been looking for your dad for years. I was looking on Facebook, I didn't have any luck. And then the next day, believe it or not, he sent a message to me asking me if I remember him. She goes on to say that you know, the position she was in, she had no family there, and that's why my dad decided to take us to see her in hospital because she had no family. And that she thought, he always thought of him as 1 in a million, never forgotten us, and is amazed that she'd been able to find us through social media to say thank you. And she goes on about how lovely it is to catch up. And it just made me, brought a tear to my eye, really thinking that that's what we want. You know, there's moments that you can make that difference to a child. May not be through getting them to level 5, especially this time of year, it's very appropriate, isn't it, to mention SATs. But it can be other things. And that child, 33 years later, still remembers that moment that my dad decided to take us to see him in hospital. I thought it was a really nice way to open the teach me, really, that we're here for that wider reason. And you're all here because you are people that are going above and beyond to give your children the very, very best. And so I want to thank you all for coming, and especially those people that are presenting. Because it takes a lot of guts to do that. And so, I don't want to put pressure on you by saying that, but we'll start the process.
Can we do a 2-minute burst, and then we'll have our... we're going to... Usually it's all very random name, but we've got someone who's going to do a live video link, and so they're set to a time at 5:45. So we'll have a 2-minute presentation first.
I'll keep going until I get to a 2-minute one.
All right. That's the last time your name's coming up, Mary.
Well, I was like
Cherise! Fantastic! You have to clap. Because these people are very brave. You ready to roll? This is when you talk to each other. I told you already, come on. Cherise will call you to order in a minute.
If anyone doesn't know Cherise, she won't tell you, but Cherise won the blog award, class blog award last year, or this year. Last year, a fantastic Year 6 blog that just blows your mind whenever you see it. It's worth looking at, by the way, if you're looking at the blog.
What David wanted to tell you is that David was the one who started me on blogging. It was at an ICT conference that David got me into blogging, so I owe it all to David for his ideas. And John Sutton as well. I'm going to talk to you. Is it not letting me log in?
Invalid login. I told you it was a bit shambolic, didn't
Well,
I?
because I've only got 2 minutes, I'll just get going.
Go for it.
Okay, well, I'm just going to talk about how I use the blogs for guided reading. Is that better, Julia? Thank you. How I use the blogs for guided reading. I use it a lot for writing, and I just wanted to take it to the next level with really focus in my class. I started using a resource that is freely available on a forum, a popular forum. 3 days ago, I'd like to mention it. And I just wanted to acknowledge that the person gave these AF guided reading cards on there. So I print them off and I make them into a key ring for the children. We then, the children take these in when they're doing their blogging sessions, and they read, when they're reading posts that other children have written or posts that they've done themselves, they can then set AF questions using these AF reading cards for other children to use. What I really like about that as well is encouraging the children to hyperlink to various posts, which John says is always really good to be an active blogger and hyperlink to posts that you've read. It gets the children to really think about their reading and encourages the other children to go back and answer their questions. They then go back and check the answers. And again, it's just making sure that the children do have that relationship in their blog, which is what makes a blog as successful as it is. So we use the AF cards, like I said already. There's another thing that I wanted to show you called Text Debate. It sounds a bit dodgy, but it's not. Text Debate. And the children can use this to copy and paste text that they've read on the blog, or we sometimes use First News or Newsround, BBC Newsround, which is free, and they just copy and paste the text that they use into Text Debate, and they text debate it there. It is free, you can pay for it, but I tend to use the free resources. And it will just come up with lots of different activities that the children can do, and it's differentiated for you. And it will just cut up the text, for example, into different chunks. So I click on that first one there, and the children then have to reorganise the text. Again, just making sure that they're reading for meaning, and they're not just reading the blog post, putting on a random comment, and they're actually doing something with it. What I have also told the children to do is do a screen grab of the page that they're on. So we just shut that down, do a screen grab, and then they can print that off, and we can use it in class as well. One other thing that I use as well, it's an app that is freely available on I don't know if I'm allowed to say it.
Yes, you can.
Okay, on an iPad called 4 Picks 1 Word, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. I get the children to play this game in class, or for educational reasons, and they make a screen grab on it as well, using the iPad, and then the children have to use those words in a sentence. And of course, being a Year 6 teacher who's just gone through the SPAD test, I then get the children to identify what the different words are in the sentence. If it's a homophone, for example, if they're using the word volume, can you make it an adjective, can you make it a noun, etc., etc. So those are just 2 things that I use on the blog.
You want to look at this?
Yeah.
Can I just say about Text Debate? There's loads more to Text Debate. There's closed procedures. It'll do all sorts of things. But like any free thing, it doesn't always work. I was showing this a couple of weeks ago to an audience, and Text Debate didn't work. It was down or whatever. And that's often the way with these free things. Just to reassure you, it is okay to mention commercial things because we live and work in a commercial forum. What we don't do, product, is keep every now and again mentioning product, a particular product in our talk, because that's cringe for, and it's clearly not what this is all about. I'm really looking forward to this one. I really hope it's going to work. Is it Elaine? Elaine is going to do something a little bit edgy and link live via her tablet device to somebody else, and we've got our fingers crossed, haven't we?
Anyone seen Text Debate before? Anyone not seen Text Debate before?
Look at that.
You've all gone away with something already, and we've hardly even started. Do we get audio on this as well? Okay.
It's flaky.
us, it's worth the wait.
What's just
do I need a microphone? No? Good. Good luck. Leave my hands. I'm Annie Levy. This is my first time I've done something like this, so if you bear with me. I'm self-employed. I go into school doing dyslexia support and touch typing, and I also do handwriting support. But I'm not going to do any of that tonight. I'm going to tell you a personal story, and that personal story is about my daughter, Hannah, who hopefully will get interested in now.
Hope Hannah answers.
Whilst we're waiting, Hannah has Down syndrome. She had little speech and no language. And when the iPad came along, it was fantastic. Hi, Han. Can you wave to everybody? Hi. Hannah, I'm just telling everybody about your iPad. Do you like your iPad? How much do you like your iPad? That much. Can you see all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hannah, can you tell some of these people what you do with your iPad? What are some things that you do with your iPad? Do you FaceTime Mummy? Yes, and your friends? You do? And what else do you use your iPad for? What about, Hannah, what about YouTube? Yes? What do you like watching on YouTube? What do you like, tell everybody what you enjoy watching on YouTube? Hannah, try to tell everybody Hannah loves musicals. She loves musicals, and so she's now got the independence to go and to look at the musicals. She loves Joseph. You enjoy Joseph? And Beauty and the Beast? Yes? You can't actually see me, I think it's a problem. Can you see me a bit better now?
Oh, you've unplugged it.
Oh.
Go on, it's alright, carry on.
Okay. Can you see me a bit better now? Yes? Is that better? Alright. So, can you see me now? Is that better? Yeah, that's good. That's lovely. And what about Facebook? You talk to your friends on Facebook? Yes? Do you talk to a young man on Facebook? Okay. And what about your music? Do you enjoy your music? Yes? Do you like choosing your own music to listen to? Yes? Good. Is there anything else you want to tell everybody here? What you like about your iPad? Yeah? Yeah, I know you can see me. And I'm going to say goodbye now because I'm going to... Oh yeah, I'm going to turn around so you can see everybody, so you can wave to everybody else, okay? Just turn it around a bit. There. Can you see everybody? Say thank you. I give everybody a big wave goodbye. She couldn't use a mobile phone because she can't speak. But with the iPad, I can see her signing, and we can communicate. And she can contact me when she likes, and she does. She can contact her grandparents when she wants to, and her friends. So whilst this is it's a fantastic tool, you know, in schools, but when I think about my daughter and what a life it's opened up for her, that's really what I wanted to share with you. I've got videos galore showing you how she uses it. I have no idea what time it is now. But I've taken videos of her using the alphabet, an app, where she's spelling words. She can do that. She can spell. Through the iPad, she can show people that she can spell. I've got apps with, show pictures of her doing a jigsaw. She can't physically pick up a piece of a jigsaw puzzle. Using the iPad and the touchscreen, she can move pieces of jigsaw into position. So it goes on and on and on. And my pleasure is actually finding things that she's going to enjoy doing to widen her education. And I could talk for hours and hours about this, but I wanted to share this with you. And what I can say is, with technology as it is nowadays, please don't underestimate our children, because given the chance, the world is their oyster.
Thank you so much, Victor. Oh,
Brilliant.
Is there a dry eye in the house? I'm not sure.
She was also a volunteer at the Olympics, I must hasten to add.
I think there is one way of getting some of those videos if you let us have a copy of them in this area, if you don't mind, and then people can see the videos on the wiki. I'll share those out.
Thank you.
Brilliant, wow.
Oh, that's a point.
Very.
Seriously?
No, run the
I don't want to
suspense.
spend over 100.
Andy. Desktop or something that bit there.
Oh, can I just mention before I start? So, just to let you know, that if those on Twitter, the hashtag for this event is hashtag TMBolton. If you include the hashtag Nason Live as well, they can promote the event that's been going on here today. Is it tomorrow as well, Andrea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
so,
all tomorrow.
tomorrow as well. So.
While Andy's getting sorted.
Just off the power button on that.
Okay. You're not limited to one drink. If you feel like you need to stretch your legs or refresh yourself. No one's counting either, Carol.
Yeah.
If you want to, yeah, I think so.
Is that better? Right, wow, follow that. This is my name, Andy Colley. I teach ICT at a school, secondary school, about half an hour down the road in Wigan. I was thinking I was going to get booed. And can I ask you all to pretend to be year 9 for me? That's not right. Excellent. So, after 3 year 9, as you come into the classroom, somebody, somewhere is going to ask me this question. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. I hate that question. I loathe it, I despise it, and I know what you're thinking. But it's showing enthusiasm for your subject. They love it. They love it so much. They're asking you where they come through the door. Through the door. That they want to get on with your subject. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is a trap. It is a well-prepared, cunning trap to fool NQTs. And believe me, that was me. Because it doesn't mean I'm here to think. I'm here to engage my brain. I'm here to learn. The kids who ask you these questions have got a very clear subtext, and this is what it is. just to put it in context, there's an adult version of this, and it happens at the start of every meeting and the start of every inset, and it looks like that. So you ask me that question, and my blood pressure instantly shoots through the roof, and you get me off task immediately, and you get the standard. Every ICT teacher in the country has a version of this lecture. And so, as we're talking about this, we're thinking, well, why do you just want to go on computers? Why do you not want to think? And we mentioned levels, and levels bad, but the secret of success at school is being able to, anything above level 5 above really, is being able to explain yourself. Verbally, in writing, and so on. And you need to understand things to do that. So, the type of kids who give you the "are we going on computers today" are the type of kids who, when you do some writing in ICT, and by the way, that apparently is child abuse. When we do some writing in ICT, they give you the lazy answers. This is year 8 work. One thing after another. Something that detects you. Thank you, you've thought about that, really, haven't you? Or they do the mirror answer. Anyone know the mirror answer? Take the question and give it back to me. And if we let this go unchecked, then the horror at GCSE at A-level. And this is the reason why every single Key Stage 4 and 5 teacher in the country has a flat forehead. From marking mock papers with answers like that. I'm sure you've marked work and wanted to put your head through the wall. So I started writing down these words, these lazy answer words, these can't be bothered thinking words, and they ended up something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my classroom banned list. You cannot use these words. You cannot use these words if you could use a keyword instead. You cannot use these words if you have not already specified what it is beforehand in the sentence. You can't use it. It's a really technical, I don't teach me, it's Twitter, internet, really technological thing. You can't, I've sort of turned it into a really technical thing. Here it is, on my whiteboard in my spidery handwriting. And for those of you who are thinking, well, I'm an early adopter, what do I get out of it? I have brought you your very own banned list mini. Would you like this as a raffle prize? So, it's starting to work. This is my standard spot in the classroom. My whiteboard is over here. It's over my shoulder. Kids are answering questions and they are stopping halfway through. They're pausing when they get to one of these words. Their eyes are flicking over my shoulder and they're going, he's going to pull me up on this in a minute. I'd best think of something good. They're starting to use keywords more and more. They're starting to see that ICT is not a cop-out subject. It is not a pretend, play around Mickey Mouse thing. You are going to have to think, you're going to have to use your brain. And it's because of a list of words on a board. I'm a geek up to about here. Yeah? I walk around with several electronic devices. If I don't have them, my heart starts to get a bit scared. But this has transformed what happens in my classroom more than any of that this year. Look, year 8 again. Sorry, Mary. How many kids do you know who won't cross things out because they're scared of getting it? You team it up with Think, Pair, Share, you give them an example from the homework that somebody wrote, they think of things, then they pair it, then they share it. And again, all that automatic correction starts to filter into the final draft. Another one. And it's a table on a piece of paper. So, what do I use it for? unfortunately, it is now being used for evil. Swines! I have to get better. I have to get better. I can't use any of these bad words now. My product, my main reason for being in that classroom is explanation, clarity, exposition, which I'm singularly proving wrong by this tonight. But, I have to rethink what I'm doing as I'm doing it, because they'll pull me up on it. Sir, you used a bad word. Okay, right, so bounce the question back. How do we rewrite it? How do we rephrase it? You've caught me doing something, fair enough, fair cop. Now how would you do it better? That's the band list. I've got about 15 seconds left, so I'll just put a quick plug in. Never been to a teach meet before. I thought, why not? Let's organise me on. So, half an hour down the road. See you in July. Thank you.
Band list, great. I'm picturing those different subjects you can have in band list in literacy, band list.
I can see there's a little idea bubbles around that one, you missed this one. Oh, yeah.
Brilliant, well done. Loads of ideas.
They are all
Yeah.
Next up, Julia.
Whoa!
Can I, just while Julie's coming up, ask how many of you use Twitter? Put your hands in the air. Put your hand down if you don't use it professionally. Yeah, so I'm hoping, keep your hand up if you use it professionally. Good. If you're using it and you're not using it professionally, you're missing out. Thank you. You can relax your hands. I only heard about Teach Me because I use Twitter. I have only met most of these gorgeous, lovely, benevolent, generous people because I use Twitter. If you're not using Twitter, talk to someone tonight who is and ask them to recommend 5 or 10 people who are worth following, because the place is populated with people who routinely do this stuff, and not just at Teach Me's, they just give of themselves. If you are on Twitter and you are thinking, I wonder who Julia is, she's called The Head's Office. This is The Head's Office.
That's my first line. You're sacked. Hello everybody, I'm Julia Skinner. I'm a retired head teacher from Bristol, and on Twitter I'm at the Head's Office.
We know.
I am a triangular, yeah, but they wouldn't listen to you, they'd stop listening to you now. I'm on Twitter. My Abby is a triangular green lady, but I do have a big pencil, so you know who I am, in case you were wondering. I'm here to whiz through something that has become a second career for me. I have some notes because I don't usually talk about this one, I talk about the other one. But because it's SEN and nascent, I've decided to talk about the 5-sentence challenge. Right, let me explain. There's always been a problem with writing. Since I was a teacher back from Noah, writing was always a problem, and it was usually linked to the boys. But even so, with all the technology, we still have problems with writing. And I've been wondering, well, what is this problem? Why is it always a problem? And I think it's because we don't ask the clients, we don't ask our children, why is writing a problem for you? And I suspect if we were to ask them, they'd come up with some of these things. And actually, if you think about the last time teacher linked writing you did, it was probably shopping list. We don't do writing anymore, and the children, quite rightly, won't do it in later life. Those of you who are a bit whizzy and techie, and you're all here, so you're obviously wanting to branch out into that world, may actually heard of blogging. Hands up those of you that have got class blogs. Well done. Hands down. Come on, woman. Hand it up. You're going to have. I don't have a class. Hands up those of you who are considering a class blog. Excellent. Well done. You may have another drink. And hands up those of you who haven't got a clue what blogging is about. Come on, be honest. You're amongst friends. It won't go any further. Thank you. Right, okay, blogging is a fairly recent phenomenon, and it really is making a difference with children's engagement as well as the standard of the work that they produce.
And it really is, for those of you that aren't really sure about it, it's really an online exercise book that the children can put anything into, and rather than just one teacher marking it all, it can be put up for the whole world. So how does that link with something I've called 5-sentence challenge? There are some of you within the room that do 100-word challenge, which both of them are writing challenges. And I've got some important things to say, and as I say, I normally talk about 100-word, but today I'm talking about the 5-sentence. It's very simple. Both challenges are very simple. I give the children a prompt, and in the 5-sentence prompt, they have to use that prompt, which is either a theme or a picture, to, you guessed it, produce 5 sentences. But because many of the youngsters who will be doing the 5-sentence challenge may be Key Stage 1, they may be reception, they may be SEN, they need quite a lot of time about it. So to discuss it, there will be lots of discussion linked around it. So the 5-sentence challenge is done every 2 weeks. And the idea is that the teacher shares with the children what the prompt is, and as I say, they then have a chance to talk about it and to decide what it is they want to write. It will then be, the 5 sentences will then be chosen, will be put onto the class blog, and then linked to 5sc.net. And you'll see that that address a bit later on. And once it's there, it is there for all the world who is their teacher to be able to comment. And the thing about blogging, it is this extended audience that has made such a difference to the work that the children are doing. No longer do they have to please Miss or Sir. They can please the whole world, and they want to do it. They want to do it again, and they want to do it better. Even nursery groups can do the 5-sentence challenge. If you imagine a group in nursery, they're sitting with a nursery nurse, they look at the prompt, they talk about the prompt, they decide what sentences they want to put up. They've got 10 sentences, Mrs. Skinner says you can only do 5. So there's all that sort of citizenship stuff that can go on how they choose the 5 that actually go up. For those pupils who are lower ability or even SEN, they may well have an additional adult with them who can act as scribe. The writing doesn't get in the way, as it often does when we ask children to write. And because it's only 5 sentences, it is actually a size that most youngsters will have a go at. It's, writing is an activity that, a lot of us, now Mr. Mitchell won't mind, Mr. Mitchell finds writing really difficult, trying to write creatively. Go to the dentist rather than that. So it is something that it can be very difficult for youngsters. So 5 sentences, and it's manageable for them. Right, so what you have to do, when you get to 5SC, and it's the word 5, some nasty person had already got the number 5, unless I wanted to pay £1 million for it. So it's 5sc.net. That's what you click into, and just in case, there it is there. And this is the site that you will see. You then scroll down and you will see the theme, and in this one it is Under the Sea, and this is the prompt that is actually live at the moment. Okay, there it is there. I'm going to put this arrow in here because here are the beginnings of entries that children have already put in. Alright, they're hyperlinks straight through to that class's post where people can go and comment. You scroll all the way down. Oh, it could be a picture. I find jigsaw puzzles are wonderful for pictures because they have to be really busy. You have to give the children lots of things to pick and choose about. So the prompt may actually be a picture. When you've decided, when you've talked about what you want to do, they've written their 5 sentences, you put them on the class blog, and if you haven't got a class blog but want to get going on this straight away, come and see me. I have a blog set up for those situations. You scroll right the way down, and look at this, 216, and that was on Monday. and it doesn't close until Thursday. So we've already got 216 entries. You go right the way down until it says click here, and when you click there, it will take you to another wonderful page. Mr. Linky, I am in love with Mr. Linky. I do lots of work with Mr. Linky. You have 2 boxes to fill in. The top box, you put the youngster's name, just their Christian name, because we want to keep them safe. Their year group, because that may be really particular. That may be, you know, really important. It may be a nursery group, but it may also be a lower ability SEN child in year 4. So you put their year group, you put their school name, and if there's enough room, there may not be, but if there's enough room, a location. Second box, you put in the URL of the post. So when the 5 sentences have been written and they go onto the class post and you publish them onto the class blog, this is the address. Where the address is here, that's what you put in that little box, not the class blog address. And then, miraculously, you go down to the bottom, enter your link. If you click it, it will then take you to that front page. It's miraculous. Now, I've been talking about audience. It's the audience that makes the difference with blogging, and therefore, because the 5-sentence and 100-word challenge are linked to blogs, it's the audience that makes the difference. Now, in order to make sure that the youngsters who are writing actually do get some comments, because parents can't always be relied upon to pop in, I have the wonderful Team 5SC. I also have a Team 100WC. With the 5-sentence challenge team, I actually have some teams of digital leaders. I know some schools that are represented here have got groups of digital leaders. So this is youngsters, they're given 10 numbers, and over the course of the fortnight, they will pop in and leave a constructive comment. But as you can see, there's 216 entries now. I've got enough people to cover 150. So guess who has to comment on the rest? 100-word challenge had 850 last week. Guess who's having to pick up the slack? We need lots and lots of commentators. So if we have any secondary colleagues here...
He's already tweeted, his year 9s have been commenting on them.
It may well be an opportunity for year 11, year 12 to actually become part of these commenting teams with some accreditation that's really good for UCAS scores and everything. So we've got the 5-sentence challenge, which is a writing challenge to give youngsters the opportunity to actually have a go, put their work out there and get the support of the rest of the world, really. Okay, and if you want to pop into this site, there is a post there with lots and lots of links to blogs, for those of you who are thinking about it, some links and some suggestions on writing, on blogs, also some details about the 100-word, and just go and have a go. But the 5-sentence challenge, particularly for those Key Stage 1 and our lower ability pupils.
I just want to say, we do the 5-sentence challenge and the 100-word challenge in our school, and I can honestly say the 5-sentence challenge and the 100-word challenge has really helped to catapult blogs at our school, primary. With the 5-sentence challenge, I had a year 1 teacher who really did not want to engage. When I introduced blogging, she was like, I don't know computers, I don't want to know anything about it, I don't want to be involved at all. I can now say she absolutely adores blogging. It's all down to the 5-sentence challenge. The number of times in her class has been showcased, and the engagement that the children have in the blog really has helped to make her blogging a success. And again, the writing that the children are coming up with is phenomenal.
Thank you, Sharice. Carol?
Can I just say I'm one of the people who comments for Julia. Hello, Julia, I've never met you face to face before. Do you know what? It's the highlight. It's one of the highlights of my week. So if you want to get involved, before you do it with the children, why not sign up to comment on what the other children have written, see how it works? Because it's really brilliant to get the moment to read all these different things. And the way it's worked out is totally random, so you get a bit from this school, a bit from this school, a bit from this school. So it's a great thing to be involved in, but why not sign up and help the children who are already there first? It only takes, one cup of coffee. We can all do it.
Thank you, Karen. Andy?
Just, you said I tweeted about it. Julia's got a brilliant way of just sending you a tweet asking you for a favour, leaving you really politely, but leaving you in no way. So say it or say no. So she sent me one Wednesday morning. I said, could you give me a hand? I've got loads of these comments. I had year 9 that morning. We took 15 minutes to start the lesson, and they all commented.
And those year 9s were,
Yes.
that was literacy. Commenting on blogs is something I never did in a literacy lesson, but it is literacy, and it's a really important new literacy. And getting kids to read blog posts, write their own, and leave comments is properly important now. And so that kind of...
It fits into the new draft computing.
Oh, thank you,
There
Mary.
you
Yeah,
go,
indeed.
knowing how to be a good digital citizen.
And that bit about audience, on the 13th of March 1978, a piece of my writing was extended beyond the eyes of my class teacher because it went onto the classroom wall. Why can I remember that? Because more than one person read it, and I felt a deep sense of pride that not only had my class teacher read it, but the head teacher walked past and glanced in its direction. Imagine the power of the global audience based on how this particular individual felt, aged 12, about a piece of writing that was seen by 16 people.
You off?
Yeah. Hello. This is my first teacher meeting, my first presentation. So just like we do the 100-word challenge and the 5-sentence. Well, I'm from David Hume.
Oh, get us fun. Sorry, very young baby.
Thanks. I'm going to talk tonight just about sort of some activities that I did with Year 3 and Year 4 in the spring term, using these sort of popular games as a stimulus in class, because I've been in the fortunate position this year of covering PPA across our primary school, right from nursery up to Year 6, using a class set of iPads to see how they can enhance the curriculum through literacy, numeracy, etc. And the first thing that happened when I walked through with my trolley of iPads was hands went up. Can we play Angry Birds? Can we play Temple Run? Can we play Fruit Ninja? And straight away I said, no, there's no educational value in there, it's just games. And I did a topic on football, where the children made their own Match of the Day programmes using the iPad. So we downloaded some Match of the Day highlights, commented over them, and we used it for recounts. And it, you know, under the heading of engaging reluctant boys. And it worked, but I got some feedback saying, what about children who aren't into football? How do you get them involved? And that's when I started thinking about these games, because every single child loves playing these sorts of games. So that's my details, I'll come back to that at the end. Move on. I started writing some ideas, or typing some ideas down. These were all the things that I came up with just about Angry Birds, literacy, numeracy, art, ICT, science. And the same again for Temple Run. And I've not been able to do all these activities, but I want to share with some of them that we've done. Starting with the literacy, the reason I think, well, it's more Angry Birds and Temple Run with literacy, the reason that these games work is that they are stories. Temple Run's a story of a character who escapes from a temple. And what's great about Temple Run is the game is actually at the end of the story. What happens before in the temple, or how he gets to the temple, or the character himself, or the precious idol that he's after, it's completely up to the children's imaginations what happens with them. Angry Birds is quite a complex story if you think about it, because you've got these nasty, or what we think are nasty pigs, who have stolen these eggs from the birds, and the birds take their revenge. But if you ever think of it, or I actually, when we started this, I said to my class, I said, is what the birds doing right? Is it right for the birds to then attack the pigs' homes? When you think about it, we try and promote that if something happens to you, don't retaliate. You tell the teacher and we deal with it. And they're playing these games where it's sort of encouraging that in a way. So we had quite a nice discussion about it. Children are completely engaged and feel confident as it's something that they're interested in. They're willing to write about it. And if you let them play for 5 minutes at the start of a lesson, it's amazing what you can get from them. And it's not just the boys that are engaged, but the whole class. So these are some of the literacy activities we've done with Angry Birds. We've used some apps where they can generate vocabulary, looking at sort of words to describe the different birds, and then creating pictures using those birds. So sort of coming up with vocabulary instead of angry, to describe them, that sort of thing. They've written instruction texts, which I don't know about you, but whenever I've had to teach instructions, they're always about the most boring things, how to butter a piece of toast and all that sort of thing. Get them to write an instruction text about Angry Birds or Temple Run, whatever it is. They're amazing. Now, what I've also tried to do is incorporate using iPads. So this was a set of instructions about Angry Birds with the Year 3 class made.
This is how to play Angry Birds, a great game for kids. You will need a device, as in mobile phone, iPad, computer, iPod or tablet. And you will need the Angry Birds app. You need skillful fingers. That's all you need. First press the Angry Birds app, then press play and have the greatest fun you've ever had. First select the level you want to go on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then pull the catapult back and aim at the pigs and fire! Look, there's the bird. Fire! Oh, now look at those horrible pigs.
I will move on because I've got others to show us up here. We made some comics where the children had to come up with stories about Angry Birds, and we used some perspective photography as well. They actually created pictures of the Angry Birds that we printed off, and then they had to create these perspective photographs which are then used into the comics. We did some play scripts where we used the video from the start of Angry Birds, had to watch it, write a play script, and then perform it over the original video. So I'll show you a little bit of this.
Them eggs are looking nice. Here's the sticks. Yuck, why are we eating this rubbish? Look at those gorgeous eggs. What a lovely sight. I'll get them.
I think we know how it ends. I found this resource called Slow Writing. Has anyone come across this before? I find it absolutely brilliant. If you haven't, Google it. It's a great resource. I could do a presentation just on that, but we use Slow Writing and iMovie to write in roles as the Angry Pigs. So what they did was they did a little bit of writing and they recorded themselves orally, speaking their work over the pictures from the game. What I found with that, them actually having to read the work back, is that they started to pick up on their own mistakes, which was great, which you wouldn't normally do. They get the piece of writing done and that's it. Whereas if I say, right, record yourself now over pictures, you're checking it through, oh, I made a mistake there, or I need to put a comma in, whatever it might be.
Angry, scarcely, I sat on the catapult, ready for my destiny. Finally, my destiny. After that, I knew I was soaring through the air like a boomerang. I shoot through the bright blue sky like an eagle spying its prey. I aim to hit the most pigs. Kaboom, bang, clash, boom. Have we got our vengeance?
And these are some other ideas that they're yet to be explored, sort of non-chronological reports about each of the birds, which is great because the children know so much about these characters that you can really focus on the features of a non-chronological report if the children already know everything there is to know about the subject. A fable from the perspective of the pigs, a flip story, so the revenge of the pigs, a persuasive review advert for the game, interviewing the different characters, justifying their reasons, and writing letters of apology. A discussion text, is it right for the birds to take revenge? and then they can design their own birds, make a profile for it. Some literacy activities about tempo run, again, some powerful word clouds that we use. So we looked at, once we played the game, we talked about different movements the character has. Can we think of different ways to describe those movements? Describing the character, the setting, and the idol. Why is it so precious? Where does it come? What special powers does it have? Again, we wrote an opening to the story over some pictures of the game, should I say.
Eventually, I saw the light at the mouth of the temple. I was running for my life through the dark, murky, misty forest. I dodged and darted swiftly around the corners. The smell of the dead, gagging animals made me feel sick. Just don't stop. Desperately, I was out of breath, but I had to keep running, otherwise I wouldn't be alive.
Because Temple Run is just basically the ending of Indiana Jones, we used the opening scene from Indiana Jones to inspire some writing about inside the temple. We also did an activity where we had to create the sound effects for the film, so we took the sound out of the film and they had to use different musical instruments to recreate the sounds that where he's dropping the sand and where he's moving the idol and things like that. And they made some persuasive trailers, but I'm running out of time, so we'll move on. Again, instructions about how to play the game, and then some more ideas there. All these ideas, by the way, are on my blog, as I am running through. Numeracy, moving on to numeracy. What I love about using these games in numeracy is that they generate numbers. They provide the children with motivation to complete the tasks. So I know that I've had children in my class that if I put a worksheet in front of them with 20 questions, and I give them 20 minutes to do it, they might get 2 done, and I think, how can you work that slow? Whereas if I say, right, you can play this game for 30 seconds, then use your score, double it, halve it, times it by whatever times tables you're focusing on, the chances are they'll do about 20 questions because they've got that motivation to then go on to the next, or to have another go. And you'll be amazed at how focused the children are. I know you'd probably be reluctant saying, oh, they're just going to be playing the game, but actually if you give it a purpose, if you give it an objective, there's a reason to it, they will get on. So, some examples of activities for Angry Birds, you can look at angles, investigations, loads of problem solving, where I did a problem solving activity with a Year 1 class the other day based on Angry Birds, where every different Angry Bird had a different number. So the red one was 1, the yellow one was 2, and then I said, right, the level is 5. How many different combinations of birds can you make to get 5? And I had a Year 1 children writing, if it was 5, 3R plus 2, no, 1 red, yellow. I'm confusing myself there. Yeah, 3R plus 1 yellow equals 5. You're talking, we're using algebraic equations there. Temple Run, you get a score that has length, converting length, rounding scores, doubling, halving, the coin scores. Great for place value if the scores are normally quite big. Fruit Ninja, doubling, halving scores. They can play multiplayer, so where they play with a partner for 30 seconds. Add the 2 scores together, times the 2 scores together. Just like I say, all the information's on there. There's my Twitter and school account. And it is also on, not that one. It's also on the Literacy Shed, which I believe Rob's here. Rob, has anyone used the Literacy Shed before? Yeah. Love it. Rob is here. He is here. I finally get to meet him. So it's actually on there as the video game shed at the Literacy Shed. So if you want to know more, you can have a look on there. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Mind blown. Absolutely blown by that. It's no reflection on the quality of the presentation, but there's others here, and it's only fair to oh, it's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. We'll roll the. Oh, will you please get another drink now, or a breadstick or something? Do it now while we get the next person.